Hey UConn Nation, it's KK Arnold here. If you're looking for the latest UConn women's basketball content, go subscribe to Listen Up to Phil and Ryan. Go Huskies!
Thank you, KK. It's Phil and Ryan on Listen Up. And Ryan, this episode, we're going to break down the news that we received. Actually, what was it? I guess a couple days ago, mind you, 4 days ago. Now, you and I tried to record this pod a day ago, but stuff just would not come together, right? Stuff just doesn't work out sometimes. So Ryan just shuts the computer off and he moves on with his day. But hey, Ryan, this is a very kind of cloudy, beautiful Saturday, and I appreciate you joining me on this episode. Not I wouldn't say extremely important breaking news, but we figured we cover it because I like to see people's comments, like, comment, and subscribe. Because Ryan, I think it's important, especially this topic. When I tell you this, according to the UConn blog, after winning the program's 12th national title in Tampa this past April, UConn women's basketball will return to the city on Thursday, December 4th to face the USF Bulls at the Yuengling Center. This will complete a home and home that began in Connecticut last season. So, Ryan, your take on this? I thought that it's very important to cover this because just to turn back the clock. Oh my! Now I know Paige Beckers won't be there, this and that, but man, just for the players that was with us, that were with us for the national championship, I think it's very important to cover this one because I think this is a game that we will remember for years to come, and specifically because that's where it happened.
Yeah. They're returning to Tampa Bay where they hoisted their 12th national championship. So I think that's going to be pretty exciting. I'm sure the players that were there, and there's quite a few returning players this year. I'm sure that'll bring back some pretty good memories. Of course, this game is going to happen on December 3rd. And these two teams are actually very familiar with one another as they were conference
Do
rivals
you
in
have
the
the
old Big
third or the
East
fourth? I had it
from
Thursday the fourth listed down here.
yeah, I did see December 4th is one of those dates. I'm not sure if you can check some of the different
All right, I'll check
articles, but
while you're going. All right.
they were very familiar with one another in the old Big East from 2005 to 2013, and then in the American Conference from 2013 to 2020. But although just like a lot of the rivalries with teams against UConn, this one is very one-sided as the USF has never beaten UConn out of 34 tries, and now their last matchup was, of course, last November at Gamble. It was the second game of the season, and UConn won by almost 40 points. So South Florida, they've made the big dance 4 out of the last 5 years, and this season they're looking to bolster their non-conference schedule. The Bulls will now face UConn, South Carolina, and Duke. So they're going to definitely have their hands full this season in terms of their non-conference schedule, looking to make the big dance once again. But for the Huskies now, with their non-conference schedule, this is the fifth non-conference game announced for the Huskies. We now have Boston College in an exhibition game, Louisville, Utah, Michigan, or Syracuse, and Iowa. And of course, now included in that is USF. And hopefully, we're going to have more announcements coming for the new season. I'm sure there'll still be a couple more left. I think there's usually what about 7 or 8 non-conference games. So we're definitely getting there for them all to be revealed. But I'm expecting a couple more pretty big announcements during this off season.
So it looks like the Bulls website, you're right, has it listed at December the 3rd, Wednesday, December 3rd. The UConn blog has it at Thursday, December the 4th. Now, we like to provide the correct information. So, Ryan, maybe one of our subs can come through, our beautiful subs, and tell us the exact date. I think the UConn blog may want to check their date. I think they may have it wrong. So, Ryan, I'm glad you pointed that out. Let's go over to comments because they came through very well. Again, Just Me said, "Hi, Phil and Ryan. Good update on AZ. I had not seen her workout video yet. She looked awesome. Also, good news about Ayanna Patterson. I hope she can play a big part in UConn's success next season.
Yeah, I would love to see Ayanna Patterson play a little bit more. Unfortunately, the story around some of these players that we have left are the injury bug, and almost everybody on this roster from the past 3 years has had to go through some sort of injury or obstacle that they've had to deal with throughout their career. But I would love to see Ayanna out there get some playing time. Of course, now we have some pretty big time forwards and centers down there in the paint. So it might be tough for her to get some playing time given that she is coming off a season ending injury. I don't think she played any games last year. So, but maybe Gino will put her out there sometimes off the bench. But I would definitely like to see what she looks like out there in real game action.
Let's go over to JWA. Said AZ was driving to the basket quite a bit during the NCAA tournament. So was KK. That's also something. Caroline did well before her injuries, too. We haven't seen AZ handling the ball much since that disaster against Ohio State in 2023. She and Nika just couldn't handle the press. I think she'd be better off leaving the ball handling to someone else. Ooh, Rye, very interesting take. My two concerns for AZ are her health and of course, and her inconsistency. She has either been hot and showing off all the talent that we know she has, or ice cold. We'll always remember what she did in the Final Four, but there were a couple of games in the tournament where she wasn't a factor. I know she has the talent to be our main scoring guard, and she can really show up in big games. I like to see her average 20 points per game next year, but she'll need to do that almost every night. Next year's team has so much potential, but AZ is key to it all. Whoa.
I think that's a very good point. I think AZ definitely has had her fair share of hot and cold streaks, and hopefully she can keep a hot streak for almost this whole entire season. But I think it's definitely going to be some up and downs and maybe a shift of a role in terms of what AZ is going to do this year. I think perhaps we'll see KK Arnold probably bringing the ball up the court a little bit more, and we could possibly see Kaylee Heckle eventually stepping into that role, bringing the ball up the court for the Huskies. But yeah, I think for AZ Flood, they're definitely going to have a lot more plays set up for her off the ball where she's kind of taking those screens from her teammates and trying to get herself open. But I think I agree with that. I would love to see AZ continue to keep driving the ball. We all know KK Arnold is a spectacular driver as well, and I think it's going to be exciting to see Caroline Ducharme out there, and hopefully she can stay healthy as well because I would love to see a lot more of her this season.
One of your favorite people, Rye, Giannis Press came through. He said, "Greetings from Londonum. Londonum. He means London, I'm assuming, Rye. They say, "Greetings from London, fellas. I've just spent a week following the girls on TikTok. Uh, Tickety, he says, Tickety Talk. Ended up going back over a year. What a revelation on their characters, especially KK, that little superwoman. Thank you for your summer workouts, aka our bite-sized nuggets of entertainment. I purchased the Gino business card on eBay, and I'm going to make sure I mention, including y'all, in the email I send him about creating that movie we spoke of pre-championship and pre the departure of the future legend Paige."
Yeah.
ah.
Yeah, that would be that'd be pretty. I mean, that's a pretty good idea. So, hopefully he gets back to you on that one. But yeah, I mean, I think we don't. I mean, we don't really talk about their characters off the court necessarily. But I think on and off the court, these women are all the same. I think what we see their personalities on the court, I think off the court is exactly the same. I think every single year they get along so well with each other. We see a lot of that bonding through the social media videos on TikTok or Instagram or whatever social media. And I think that goes a long way each and every season for this team to have, undoubtedly some of the best chemistry that we see out of any team in college. So I think that goes a really long way, and I think it's definitely an underrated factor that these girls have every single season.
All right, Ryan, we'll leave it at that. And Ryan and I, this team has grown. The UConn Huskies women's basketball team has grown right in front of our eyes. Ryan and I and everybody else. Ryan and I has grown because of you all, because of your love, your support. So we thank you every day for that. Even when we have no podcast, right, Ryan? We thank you every day for that. And Ryan, if you have a special message, I know you do. Mothers are amazing, but we can't forget tomorrow as well. Happy Father's Day to all the dads and the not yet dads, the stepdads, the moms who are dad, right? The adoptive dads, the granddads, and the dads who are no longer with us. Rye, happy Father's Day to my dad, and if you want to share a special message.
Yeah, definitely. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there tomorrow. Just like the mothers, your roles are definitely just as important in growing. If you have your grandchildren or your children, your roles are definitely appreciated in all of our lives. So happy Father's Day to my dad as well, if you're watching. And we definitely can't thank you enough to all the fathers, grandfathers, godfathers out there. You're definitely appreciated every single day as well.
Phil and Rye on Listen Up.